We're not going to start until 10. Good morning, everybody. We have about 3 minutes, but I just want to make sure that that you all know that I'm here. So we have about 3 minutes, 2 minutes now. Right back. If you register ahead, I sent you an email. Let's see, I sent you an email of the ebook. We're going to start at 10 o'clock sharp. So, but if you registered ahead, you did get the e-workbook. And the e-workbook is important because I'm trying to make sure. You all also let me know if for some reason you can't hear me and things like that, because I want this to be more of a conversation. So I'm going to, if you could see my live chat, make sure you participate through there or call the conference call number. The conference call number is 1712-432-3022. So 712-432-3022. Wow, everything's going off, which is a good sign. And put in the code 188213. 188213. The code is 188213. And the conference call number, we have 1 minute left before we get started. And we're probably going to hear this kind of noises the whole time because I have two of my things. I'm going to try to chat with my tablet, look at the camera, and I don't know, this phone could probably go off. Let's do that. It's 10 o'clock. Let's give everybody just another second to get on the conference call. So call in the conference call at 712-432-3022. My screen says that it's waiting for me now. I hope you all can see me because this is not showing me that I can. But chat to me if you can see me. But because I'm going for it. This is what we do every Wednesday. So I hope that everything is going. I was trying to, add some little stuff, but I sent an email about the e-workbook and also the conference call number one last time to call and so that I can hear you. And I have the conference call up, 712, and don't hesitate to say things. That's seems like a couple of you all have been texting me and stuff this morning. I know y'all moving in slow motion just like I am, and you're dependent on being able to come back and look at this later. But I see what happened. It's not letting me start it. Woo, y'all. Trying to start it. Oh, look, for the person out there watching me, thank you. I appreciate you. Look, I appreciate you a lot. It is snowing, but I got you. I got everything now. Everything is straight now. Now we can continue to proceed. And for those of you who are on the conference call, thank you very much. Don't hesitate to participate. Let me know what's going on. It is Saturday. Bear with me. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group. And this is the workbook. I sent you the e-workbook. So you please let me know. Email me at jb@jbbryan.com if you didn't receive the e-workbook. The workbook that you received in your email is a little bit easier even than the printout. I mean, in some ways, it depends on how technical you are. But the ebook that I sent you this morning, if you're on the email list, if you're not, make sure you let me know, and I'll send it to you after I finish. That it allows us, the ebook allows you to actually put in your answers. So what I'm trying to encourage you to do, and I am encouraging you to do, is that we take the PDF and save it or print it out after you've filled it in for 1 year, and then you go back and you can fill it in for another year, and then you can kind of see your progress as we're working along. And the AfroEconomics members, and I encourage you all to join, that at the end we're going to, hopefully, weather permitting, at the end of the month we'll have our live meeting, and we'll actually do a live session, not with the workbook, but just to talk about portfolios. And the AfroEconomics has 5 investment portfolios, and I've made a commitment that January is going to be a lot about talking about stocks and helping us have a better understanding of stocks and how they work. And the best time to do that is the members only meeting, because you actually are saying that you're committed. You'll do an actual financial planning agreement, and we'll meet each quarter and go over things and are able to really specifically focus on your financial needs. So the membership really does benefit, and as well as the you doing it on your own and getting the workbook, doing the e-workbook. That even though it's free, don't take it for granted. A lot of things that we get, the hard part is you actually using it. So even though it's free, you got to do the hard part. You've got to do it. So let's first just look at the 10 principles of AfroEconomics, right, in the book. So if you have your document in front of you, and I thought about doing the Google Chrome and then putting it on the screen, and I was like, hold up, you're trying to get way too complicated. But because I didn't want to make your day any more difficult than possible. So I don't know if you can still look at me and look at your book. So if you can't, I'm going to make sure that I'll put it here in front of you, and then you can go back and look at your ebook later. But the 10 principles of AfroEconomics are how we start the workbook so that you know where you're going. And the first principle is legacy, your legacy, and discovering your why. And then going on to self-reliance and financial independence is principle 2. And moving into organizing and planning your financials things. And this workbook and everything, really, AfroEconomics is about us setting goals, a strategic financial management program for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad, about us just setting goals and having the support and the teamwork that we can continue to persevere, because things happen. So setting up your plan. And then the 4th step of AfroEconomics, or the 4th principle, is knowledge, learning more. That's why we do the workshops every week and every Wednesday. And the 5th principle is integrity, the soul of your money. And you really need to evaluate your life, what you're doing. As King Day approaches, I'm glad that it's grown into, I'm not just talking about our civil rights leader that was killed, but it's about doing community service and giving back and making a commitment to bring that into your life. And integrity is looking at the soul of your money, how you spend your time, how you spend your money. And the 6th principle is review and accountability. You've done these things, and making it a part of your life to actually go back and review and say, how well have you done? What have you done? What have you accomplished? What do you need to improve? And that's the 7th principle is entrepreneurship, the fearless entrepreneur. The 8th principle is having credit confidence and improving our confidence. And let me talk just a moment about entrepreneurship. I put that in there because entrepreneurship is a great way of increasing wealth. It's a great way of increasing employment in our community. And so I really like to focus and encourage us that even if we are working somewhere, that we always look at ourselves and our life as an enterprise that you're creating. You're building your own business. You are a business, no matter where you work. Operate yourself and function in that way. Have credit confidence, principle 8. 9, be determined, have determination, make your dreams come true. And the final principle of Afroeconomics is Black health and Black wealth. And that is indeed very important. As you know, we all know that if your health isn't right, it will cut in. And that whole chapter in the book, well, not the whole chapter, but I start the chapter with talking about how research reflects that our careers in our community have been cut short a lot from health issues. And there's even more research being done now that connects a lot of our health issues to the racial discrimination that too many of us experience throughout our careers. So we have to figure out, how do we protect our health? And what I did, because I knew that I was having a difficult time dealing with discrimination issues in corporate America, that I was the only Black broker in the ballroom when I was working at that firm. And the firm that I would have still been at, that has been sold, and it was sold, and it was sold, and finally now they just settled a $35 million racial discrimination lawsuit with Black brokers at that firm. And the lawyers got the overwhelming amount of the 35 million, and the brokers only got less than 200,000 apiece. So I just think about, that would have been over 20 years for me. Where would my health be if I had continued to allow myself to go through that? And so, you know, my hat goes off, you know, to those. I hope that none of them were there as long as me, but it's amazing. They could have helped, allowed me to help them with the lawsuit, but it was just settled this last week. I didn't even realize it was going on. So I guess a lot of that stuff stays hush hush until it's settled. The bottom line is that we have to protect our health. You have to protect your health. I mean, even if I mean, 20 years, I've built a business, wrote books, you know, everything has happened. So many lives have been impacted by me starting my business. You know, people have fed their kids for working for me, you know, so it's like, how would, that if I had stayed there and then at the end only received 200,000, you know, that's, you know, more than enough encouragement from God telling me that, thank God, I moved on. And if you're in a position where it's deteriorating your excitement about what you do, because I know that this is what I have to do, then, you know, realize that being in a bad situation is bad for your health over the short and long term. So do what you got to do to improve your life. So in the workbook, I always start when we're in class with this question, and it's like right at the beginning: what would you like to understand before this workshop ends? So those of you who are at home, because I'm of course not going to keep you on here for our 2 hours that we would do if you were with me, but what do you want to make sure that that you understand, that we discuss? And you might not be able to get it to me, but what motivated you to participate, to watch this? What were you thinking about when you look? So make sure that you email me about that. I'm trying to pull up I'll pull up the chat too. I don't but when I look at my chat, and I hope that you all don't have that, but it's like when I look at the Hangout, it's like saying that it's waiting for this to start. So I don't know, but I know you all are there with me, so that's okay. But I did put, I don't know if you can see that we have a live chat, but if you do want to share what you would like to get out of this discussion, make sure that you call the conference call and you say that there as well. So, and as you can see, I am committed to live broadcast. Like most people would be like, I'm not gonna do that live, because they don't want to run into like these type of situations where it's not putting up your question. But I promise you, if you ask a question, which usually happens when you say something, I don't see it until I finish. So that's not you, that's YouTube. So that's the way they do things. They probably have somewhere that they review your questions and make sure, I don't know. But, and then the next one, as you go through the book, that it talks about some of the history. It talks about the Freeman's Bank that we had back in the 1800s, and I like to discuss during the workshop, like, what do you think of that? Why do you think that happened? Why did it close down? You know, what would it be like today to have a bank of our own? And what would that be like? So let's just look at principle one. Now, right now, hopefully you have the book in front of you. You've pulled up your book. If not, just get a piece of paper and you can go back to your email. But the first question for today, other than what do you want to get out of this time that you're sharing with me, that's the underlying question. What are your current financial priorities? Because your first principle of Afroeconomics being your legacy, discovering your why, all of that comes under knowing your current financial priorities. Like, what is really important to you? Why are you doing what you do? Why do you get up and work every day? Why are you watching this? What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to make sure that your children have a certain amount of money upon the end of your life? Do you want to make sure that you're financially independent by a particular age? Do you want to make sure that all of your debts are paid off? I'll tell you one thing, the easiest way to become financially independent is to make sure that you don't have any unnecessary consumer debt. And we really can make goals and accomplish that's amazing. It's off the chain. I don't know. Yeah, I hope you can't hear what I can hear, but it's like something is going somewhere. It could be emails, it could be you all, but I hope that I will see them later. I just can't see it right now. So your current financial priorities, make sure you write them down. A snow day is a great day to do that, correct? Write down, I want to pay these off at a particular time. I want to have this amount of money at a particular time. I want JB Bryan, or I want my financial advisor to assist me in looking at my portfolio at work and review these things. I want to understand more about stock investing, but make sure that you articulate that today. Write it down. It makes a huge difference of writing it down. Research has shown that people that know what they want are much more likely to get what they want. And if you write down what you want, you've increased your chances even higher of getting what you want. So make sure you get it. And then it goes into why do you have those things? Why are those things important to you? Are your current financial priorities helping you build your long-term wealth? Like, you might have a current financial priority that is you want to buy a boat, but you also said that you want to, you might want to buy a yacht, and you need to buy a little boat because you also want to stop working in 10 years. If you want to stop working in 10 years, the yacht might not be the way that you're going to get there unless you have some other things that are going to generate additional income for you. So we have to make sure that what we want is in sync with what you're doing. A lot of times you want a lot of things, but you don't want to do what you got to do in order to get it, right? So let's make sure that we are doing things to create the wealth that we want and not doing things that are pulling us away from that. You're spent all of December accumulating debt, but then in January you want to be debt free. We want to make sure that we realize that we cannot do that again next December, because it will take you all year in some cases to get rid of it. So be careful in that. And then another question there is, briefly describe your day-to-day financial plan. Like, why am I asking about the day-to-day? But it's like, just like with eating, that we have, when we decide to bring our lunch, we do much better. I know I do. That if I know what I'm going to eat for lunch, like, I just like bring, if I bring, like the other day, I was like, I'm going to do better, and I brought a can of tomato soup. Now, I like tomato soup, so I brought the can of something that I like. Now, if I brought something that I hated, then I would have ended up making a mistake and, ordering out or doing something stupid for lunch, or not eating at all, which is even worse than coming home starving. So make sure that you do that with your money. What is your plan? If you want to see, you said, I want to save more money, but then you and your friends like to go out. You've been, all of 2016, you and your friends went out and spent $20 a day on outside lunches. Then make sure that your daily financial plan is thought about. Think about it. Like, what do you want to accomplish? So Do you have your legal documents organized? Do you have your beneficiaries organized? Do you have a will in place? I talk about that quite often with friends, families, and clients about things that weren't put in writing, and that, how it affects people for generations to come. Like, even though you might be telling somebody what you want to happen upon your death, you better make sure that that is in writing. You have to. So that is meant for somebody out there to make sure that the first principle of Afroeconomics is to make sure that you have your legacy set up correctly. Or why are you doing what you do? So you're working to make sure that someone is taken care of. Make sure they're on your beneficiary forms. Make sure that you have the proper protection. And it may mean that you don't have enough savings, so you need to talk to me, hopefully, about some life insurance options. But think about it. So, I mean, you're doing it. So I'm preaching to the choir, right? You're doing it. So then create a legacy plan. Create a legacy plan. Decide like how you want things to be, what you want to be. I can honestly tell you, this book and workbook and the children's book and the book that I'm working on now for entrepreneurship are all part of my legacy plan. They are not, I didn't even, it didn't have a slightest consideration that I would make money on this. So every time someone buys a book, it just impresses me, because as you all know, if you follow me, I'm constantly, sending someone an ebook. I don't want to, if there's anybody, anytime, who needs a book but feels like they can't afford it, I would be, so hurt to know that they didn't follow Afroeconomics because they couldn't afford the book. So, make sure you tell your friends, like, all they have to do is email me. I would like them to be on my email list. So, I would like them to email me their number and their email and their name, but they can get any of my books, even the kids' book. We'll be happy to, because the purpose of it is to empower our community. That's the purpose of it, so that we can all make our contribution to making the world a better place. The more financially healthy we are, the more we can help each other, the more we can help other, people. It just makes a huge difference. We have to be financially healthy so that we're not obsessed with this. Money issues slow people down, deteriorate their health, take time away from family, take time away from, people unfortunately commit suicide over financial issues. It's amazing. Like, people don't, I don't know, I guess there's some people do, but it seems like more people, I don't know the numbers, but it seems like more people commit suicide because they're overwhelmed financially than that they found out that they're terminally ill or something. It's amazing. Like, people that find out they're terminally ill, they'll be like, oh my, what do I do? What can I find out? What can I do? How can I save my life? Isn't that amazing? But so I don't think that we should, that money should be like that it should be stressing us out like that. And the only way to avoid it from stressing us out is that we have to put it in its place and understand it. And too often, money issues will not talk about money. They won't check out this video. They won't participate in this discussion. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I have quite a few viewers, and I appreciate y'all. If you can chat, make sure that you chat or call the conference call number. It's if you have a question, call the conference call number now, 712-432-3022. 712-432-3022, and put in the code 188213. Put in the code 188213, and I can hear you. So those of you who are on there, if you have a question, say JB, so I can, you can speak up. I don't have you on mute. So, as you can tell, you hear all those noises. I do not have anything on mute. And then when you go in the book, it says, my question for you in principle 2 is, why is independent thinking important? Why do we have to have that millionaire mindset? The Afroeconomics, I'm just going to read from you here. The Afroeconomics program develops your commitment to self-reliance. We have to set an example of our own self-reliance and allow the generations that follow us to learn how they can build wealth and become self-reliant. That also means learning how to get a job and to get more opportunities for themselves, and starting a path to being creative and finding ways of developing a wealthy mindset. In order to have a wealthy mindset, we have to develop an attitude of, I can do this myself, I believe in myself, I am worthy of this. With the mindset of the wealthy, you will find consistently those people who have an attitude of freedom, creativity, and independence. This is important to have in order to reach a maximum level of wealth and financial independence. I wrote that. Go ahead, JB. Yeah, but definitely self-reliance and financial independence is a mindset. And I've often said that because of what my parents didn't do, they pushed me. Well, I was determined to be independent. So when they would say, well, then, okay, you're out there working, then you buy that yourself. Now, it really taught me, I was totally frustrated as a kid by that. But I know that I have to thank God for them being that way with me. They had never, none of my brothers and sisters were like that. I just had this like, I don't need nothing from you kind of attitude. So because of that, they were like, okay, you want to be this grony, then do what you got to do. Me to really, I worked 3 jobs through undergrad. I worked full time. I went to graduate school at night. That that it allowed me to realize that I have to take care of myself. And too often, our kids are going out and getting jobs, and they don't think that their money is supposed to be used for anything except for exactly what they want to do. They don't think they should have to use their work money for food, for their lunch, for their trips to school, for their books, or they may be do it. And because I had to do that, it helped me create that entrepreneur mindset. I do believe that was a vital part of just becoming independent, realizing that I could take care of my own responsibilities. That you see that people, the earlier they became responsible for themselves, the more likely they are to be an entrepreneur in many cases. I can't say in all cases. And they're also in the book, in the financial independence section, there's a budget worksheet. You'll have a budget worksheet that you can do, and in your email, you can fill this in, and then you can do a little, budget. I feel that you should keep your budget as simple as possible. And then also, I think that your budget should be a list of your financial priorities. I don't think that your budget should be a way that you want, but your budget should be, these are the things that I want, and this is how I'm going to pay for what I want and what I need. Like, hopefully your needs and your wants are the same. Like, I hope you want your lights on, right? I hope you want to save for your retirement. I think sometimes we think that that our wants, I guess if we get our wants in alignment with what you really deserve, you're worthy of being protected. You're worthy of being financially independent. You're worthy of not stressing about money. Like, once we get that level of self-respect, that my budget consists of things that I am worthy of, a nice home. I am worthy of, having all the things that I need. I'm worthy of not having to worry about these things. So that your budget shouldn't be like something that you regret. I mean, a budget should be like, wow, this is how I take care of everything that I want. If want is a better word for you, but I'm praying that your wants and your needs, are in alignment with really taking care of the responsibilities that you have. And a big part of that is, making sure that you are protecting your family, that you're saving for yourself, that you are putting your income into things that can generate additional income for you. Too often, things that we tend to want don't generate any income for us. So think about acquiring assets and through your budget that are building even potential wealth for you, that can, also, too often we don't realize that if we dominate the bulk of our income into just things that don't have any possibility, like say your car payment. Your car payment is, taking 50% of your income, then you can't, save for buying assets through the retirement account that may be able to take care of you when you don't want to work every day, when you don't want to have to work every day. So you don't want unnecessary diminishing purchases to pull away from your ability to build wealth over your long term. And so then we'll go through. I'm at 28. I'm gonna let you all go in a few minutes. So as you go through the workbook, because I think that you've done a phenomenal job hanging out with me for almost 30 minutes. And your third principle, and we go through, and the budget is in there, and then your principle 3 is organization and planning. List five top financial goals. And I keep going back to that. So you'll see that that's an underlying tone of making sure that even if you said, this is what you might have said at the beginning, what do I want to accomplish by the end of this discussion, or what is important to me? Those same things in a different form might be these top 5 financial goals. And one thing that I keep rolling through my mind when I think of 2017, I think that I need I'm going to share with this. We talked about this on New Year's Eve, that 2017, I think of it as having at least 2 forms of income, having 0 debt, especially consumer debt, as much as you can, avoid it as much as possible. Have at least one major financial goal that you are actively working on, and that 7 is for you are actively working on that 7 days a week. And so if you have 5, at least one of those you should be very actively, aggressively working on. And that hopefully that one is one that you need to get out of the way first. Like that might be that you have credit card debt that needs to be eliminated so that you can begin putting more into your retirement account, or that you need to get rid of the credit card debt, because every dime that you put on your credit card debt is a guaranteed return on your money. So you have a 20% interest rate on a credit card debt, boom, you made 20% return on your money, just like that. When you pay, every time you pay that down, think of it that way. So explain, and in that organization and planning, you'll have to list your income producing assets. What do you want to accomplish with your personal financial goals? How will it help you? Do you agree that having a credit card balance suggests that you are not living within your means? There's some things to think about. And then there's how long do you have to keep your financial statements? And it'll say like how long, and I have some clients that have financial statements from their investment statements from years and years and years ago. But I think the most important one is when you get your year-end statement for that account, make sure that everything is correct, and then you can throw away the quarterly statements for that account. So, but it's better to have them than to not, because there's so many people who don't have their statements at all. So, and then learning about how to keep them, how to stay organized. 5 saving secrets. So the pay yourself first, of course, shop smarter, and the see your destination, and then make sure that you're keeping up with everything that you can, all of the receipts that you can, and especially at this time of year, make sure that if you're keeping up with things that you feel might be tax deductible, always save them, because a great way to save is to reduce your tax bill, definitely. So then speaking from a hypothetical shoebox under the bed, the money in the box might collect dust, but it won't collect interest. And while I seriously don't doubt that you keep money in a shoebox, take a moment to consider where and how you save your money. While a traditional savings account can earn you interest, there are other options available to you that could potentially earn you more money. So, make sure you're careful about, where you put your money. And then you're going into principal. Let's look at the credit section real quick before you leave me. Oh, all right, the entrepreneur. I'm going to credit. So ways to build your credit score. You know, I have that in there, article in there, and the then okay. Do you know your credit score? And then you'll put it down in the book. And then monitor your credit regularly. And I also have, we all know that the higher your FICO score, the better your financial life. So check out this book. This is like, I haven't successfully, this is crazy. What I think I put this out in the summer. I have not successfully been able to go through the entire workbook in a workshop yet. So my goal for 2017 is, because as you can tell, I enjoy talking. And when we're in a workshop session, we get in it and we talk and talk and talk. And I don't like to tell people, save your questions to the end. I want you to participate where you are. So, and then also there's a section on your health, your Black health and Black wealth. And that by watching this morning, it was very good for your health. I think so. I hope so. And the says, I have this is a quote from, it says, poverty rates among Black seniors are more than twice as high as among white seniors. Among Medicare beneficiaries ages 65 and older, the median level of savings in retirement accounts and other financial assets is nearly 66,000 overall, but the median is substantially higher among white seniors than among Black seniors. The white seniors average 314,000, and the Black senior citizens have nearly 66.9. So the incidence of chronic health problems and disability is greater among people of color than among whites, resulting in both lower income and a lesser ability to save during pre-retirement years, and higher total healthcare expenses during retirement for people of color than for whites. So we're spending more money out of our retirement money on our health issues as well. So health and wealth is very, very important. Do you have questions? Look at this. Arlene Waller said, good morning. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail, don't stop you. Herman Yancey said, good morning. Wow, I don't know how long ago y'all put that up there. It was a while ago, but I'm just getting it. But thank you all so much. Yes, indeed. Well, that's a blessing. And the conference callers, y'all, thank you for hanging out. And those of you who are out there watching, thank you so much for hanging out. Let's stay in, let's stay safe. Check out your email. I don't know if any of you don't have it. I don't know if you, Ms. Waller, if you have the workbook, but I can email it to you. So email me at jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com, and I will email the workbook so that you can go back and look at this video again, and then you can actually do it. But you can, it will take you through, but then you'll have it. And hopefully that if it generates any questions, make sure that you communicate with me and I will help you as well. Consider the membership to AfroEconomics. Check out the membership on the AfroEconomics.com website. If you want membership details, email me about that as well. I am JB Bryan, a President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. God bless you all. Have a good one, and let's stay in touch. And I'll talk to you all again on Wednesday. Take care.